Kalyn Ponga, caught cheating. Night Star's relationship ends. Some betrayals cut deeper than any tackle because they strike not at the body, but at the promises we make when no one else is watching. It was a still autumn evening in Newcastle, the kind where the harbor lights shimmer like scattered diamonds and the Pacific breathes slow and gentle against the breakwall. Kalyn Ponga, the golden son of the hunter, had just finished another dazzling training session. Smiles for the kids, autographs for the diehards, the same electric grin that once convinced an entire region to believe again. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Sport Talk content. By midnight, that same smile had vanished. A series of private messages, meant only for one pair of eyes, had somehow found their way into the wrong hands. Screenshots surfaced on a quiet Instagram story that disappeared almost as quickly as it appeared, yet not quickly enough. Within minutes, the words Kalyn Ponga cheating were racing across phones from Meriwether to Maitland and beyond. His partner of 4 years, a woman who had stood quietly in the outer through every high and low, discovered the truth the way no one should, surrounded by strangers on a glowing screen. Friends say she simply closed the laptop, walked to the beach, and let the winter water numb everything the messages had broken. The next morning, McDonald Jones Stadium felt heavier than usual. Teammates arrived to find their captain sitting alone in the sheds, head bowed, jersey crumpled in his lap. When Tyson Frizzell asked if he was injured, Kalyn looked up with eyes that carried no defiance, only regret. "Not the kind of injury you can strap, mate," he whispered. Then came the moment that silenced the city. Instead of hiding behind managers or carefully worded statements, Kalyn asked the club for permission to speak directly. That afternoon, he stood in front of the media, no notes, no sunglasses, just a 27-year-old man owning every mistake. "I hurt the person I love most in this world," he said, voice cracking on the word love. "There's no excuse, no spin. I let her down, I let my family down, and I let every kid who looks up to me down." Outside the press room, a small group of Knights fans who had gathered to support him fell quiet. One older woman in a faded 2017 jersey wiped tears and said softly, "At least he didn't lie to us." In a sport that sometimes rewards silence, honesty felt almost revolutionary. Within hours, the story was everywhere, yet something unexpected rose alongside the outrage. Women who had walked the same lonely road began sharing their own stories under #We Believe You. Young men posted apologies they suddenly realized they owed. Newcastle's heartbreak became a mirror for thousands. The club never considered standing him down. Adam O'Brien simply moved training to 5 a.m. so their fullback could spend every spare minute trying to repair what he had broken. Flowers appeared on his partner's doorstep with handwritten notes that never asked for forgiveness, only acknowledged the pain. This is not a story that excuses betrayal. It is the story of what happens when a gifted young man realizes too late that the brightest lights cast the longest shadows, and that some losses can never be won back on a football field. Through the longest winter of his life, Kalyn trained alone when the team had days off, ran extra laps when no one was counting, and sat with the club psychologist long after the sun had set over the coast he once ruled. "I thought being a good footballer made me a good man," he told a small group of junior players months later, sitting cross-legged on the very turf where he once danced past defenders. "Turns out they're two completely different jobs. I lost the person who believed in me when I was still just a kid from Palmerston North with big dreams and bigger fears. Every time I pull on this jersey now, I remember the weight of hurting someone who never deserved it. I can't fix the past, but I can make sure the man I am tomorrow is someone she could have been proud of." When Kalyn Ponga next runs out under lights at McDonald Jones, the cheers will still come because Newcastle forgives its own, but they will sound different now, tempered by respect for the boy who chose truth over image. He plays with a quieter fire these days. The sidesteps are still there, the vision sharper than ever, but every celebration ends with a glance to the heavens, not for glory, but for gratitude that he still has the chance to become better. Because some lessons are written in permanent ink. The tries fade, the highlights dim, but the way you treat the people who love you when the cameras aren't rolling, that is the legacy that outlives every contract. Kalyn Ponga didn't just lose a relationship that autumn night. He found the beginning of the man he was always meant to be. And somewhere out there, a young kid wearing number one will learn that falling is part of the game, but owning the fall with grace, that is what separates champions from the rest. That might just be the most important lesson the Knight's prodigy ever teaches, scored not in dazzling tries, but in the quiet, painful, beautiful work of becoming someone worthy of the love he once took for granted.